Everybody, it is Romania Black, and we're on the last episode of season 1 of Blue Lock. What? I feel like I just started this series. I'm not even joking, and we've been watching it for half a year now, which is blowing my mind. And what can I say? I've drank the blue Kool-Aid, and I'm here for it. I love Blue Lock. I really do. It has started out being it was such a different experience starting this series and being like, what in the world are we doing? And then watching it and growing to love it, and these characters and this wild world that is unpredictable. And I'm very, very sad that I have to kind of put it on hiatus for now. I've had a lot of people ask if I'm going to read the manga, and right now I'm getting through Jujutsu Kaisen's manga to catch up to season 2 from it, and I can only do one at a time. With everything on my channel and scheduling, that's all I can do for now. So when I catch up to that series, if we don't have season 2 by then absolutely. But I'm pretty excited still, because I know the Discord channel, there's a lot of merch shared, a lot of official art shared that has characters they can show me. So I'm pretty excited about that. I know people will still be talking about the manga and things like that. So I'm not worried about the traffic dying down in that channel, because there's so much still to talk about. But I am going to be sad waiting on season 2. Hopefully it won't be, it'll be a sooner rather than later scenario, but we'll have to see. I do have some comments I want to talk about before we dive into this episode, so humor me with a long introduction, but it's the last episode, and I'm literally waiting until the last minute to watch this, because I didn't want to watch the final episode. I was like, no, I'm going to keep waiting and maybe get some more comments, and that's what I told myself. But the reality is, because I know once I post this reaction discussion, there'll be comments. The reality is I just didn't want to watch it yet, because I don't want to be on hiatus, but here we are. No choice. So, I do have some comments, mainly from Wim, but we'll get to them in a second. Moon was talking about, I was asking a few episodes ago, like, what can these characters do on the field? Because I am not familiar with soccer rules. I played like a year of soccer when I was in 4th grade. I wasn't paying attention to rules back then. Back then they were like, kick the ball. Like, you can do it. And I'm not coordinated. So they were just like, just run around and pretend like you're doing something. So Moon pointed out that a player can technically jump at, kick, trip, charge, strike, push, hold, or spit at an opponent. So everything that's happened so far, with the exception of some blatant, battery assaults, is pretty much legal. So good to know. I feel like it's kind of like hockey. In hockey, you pretty much can do anything. So that's kind of the same deal, I guess. So thank you, Moon. Algumalgum talked about how I was misspoken a few episodes ago, so I want to clarify. I thought that Barrow called Toki glam guns, and I was like, well, Barrow is shipping Aryu and Toki together, so let that ship sail, which the ship has still sailed. That's not changed. But they did point out that it wasn't glam guns. It was glum guns. And glum guns is hilarious to me. The idea of Toki being like Eeyore, like a stressed out, anxiety ridden Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, is the most hilarious mental image I've had in a long time. So thank you for that. I also, Algumalgum pointed out that it could be that Nagi is cursed by chance, because he has trash talked so far Isagi at the very beginning, Chigiri, and Bachira as well, and all 3 have clapped back at Nagi. So after it happens, which is interesting, except Reen. But what I feel like is, Reen is a constant. So if you trash talk him or whatever, Reen's just like a brick wall. You're not going to do much to that. So thank you, Algumalgum. And then Wim had a lot of comments. So the rest of this little comment section is devoted to them. First of all, they've been a big shipper of Isagi and Rin. And I told the Discord a while back, I was like, let me just ease into it. When I get to shipping, I'm like a baby deer. You just got to hold the food out and let me slowly come to you. And I have developed a major ship crush for Isagi Rin, as well as Isagi Bachira. And having them as an OT3. And so they shared this art. And yeah, so in this art, it literally shows Reen with this like aquamarine hoodie when he's doing this like Hello Kitty collaboration. And granted, the little drawstrings are white on that hoodie, so it could be different. But then they show him in another official art with a different aquamarine hoodie with aquamarine drawstrings. And then later, there's more official art that has Asagi wearing the aquamarine hoodie. So if you are shipping Asagi and Reen, that's further proof they're sharing clothing. It's like the boyfriend fit, right? Just sharing clothing. And it looks a little bit smaller on Reen, but a little bit bigger on Asagi, which would match up with the size comparisons. So we're going to talk about the fandom and the research the fandom does with shipping here in just a second. But I was like, all right, touche, Blue Lock. I'm here for that. I can get on board with that. Wim talked about in paralleling, though, that in episode 2, Bachara talked about believing in Asagi as he gives him the ball to get Kira, which, remember Kira? The fact that Kira is still an official art baffles me. It's like the best trolling by the production company, because they're like, yeah, Kira art, and people that are unsuspecting think that Kira is going to be this major character, and then he's gone in episode 2, and you're like, okay. It still mind blows me. It's just mind blowing. But not only with that, episode 2, Bachara saying he believes in Asagi. Then in episode 23, Asagi tells Bachara, well, I believed in you, that you would evolve and get here. So that faith that they have in each other just cements that ship even more for me. I'm like, yes, that mutual faith that they have. And then Bachara, Asagi says in episode 2 that Bachara gives him courage. And then in episode 23, Wim pointed out that Asagi says Bachara definitely gives him courage. So it's just cementing it, making it even more canon than it already is. Now, Wim, I wanted to address this because Wim pointed out in their comment on Patreon that Reen's come Asagi, stand by my side, which we'll talk about that translation here in a hot second, that it, to Wim, it compared to, I'm going to talk about some Haikyuu season 4 spoilers. So if you've not seen Haikyuu season 4, this next little bit's going to be related to that. But talks about how at Sumu, the character says, I'll set for you, Shoyo. Now, on the surface, I was like, I think that's very different. But thinking about it, to play devil's advocate here, I do think that it is the idea of a setter. Setters are the conductors of the court in volleyball. They control the ball, they control who the ball goes to, and who ends up scoring. So in some respects, a setter functions sort of like Reen being like Reen saying, I'm going to gather you all together and make you work for me, and I will give you the ball to score on my behalf. But that's not all Reen is. Reen likes to, get the points himself as well. But my thing with that is that when Atsumu's like, I'll set for you, Atsumu in Haikyuu is known kind of as the setter of love. He loves to give to the other players. He's like, I'm going to give you the ball, but it's a gesture of love. And he's like, when you score, he's like, he wants to make them the best that they can be for them to score. And Atsumu's not really about the glory of it. Atsumu's like, I want you to love me. I want to be the setter that you want to give you the ball, right? Reen doesn't seem to have that mentality at all. Reen's kind of like, I want you as a tool on my field for me. The glory goes to me. You don't get any love. It's all me. So I think the attitudes around those two lines are different, but I can see the connection in terms of the control and having you as part of their team because you're powerful and they want you as an asset. I can see that, but I think that Atsumu's crush on Shoyo is a totally different vibe than Reen and Asagi. Way different. So, and Atsumu and Reen could not be more different. So that's just my 2 cents about that. But to relate to that concept that Reen says to Asagi, Wim pointed out that the Japanese translation, in the English translation on the streaming service that I'm watching on, the line is, Asagi Yoichi, I want you to be at my side as I become the best in the world. And Wim pointed out that the actual Japanese translation is not so much at your side, at my side, but more closest to my side. And I like that Japanese translation a little more. One, it's way more intimate and more shippy because it's like, I want you the closest to me. And also, it does seem like at my side reads more like you're a tool, you're an asset, I'm just using you like the others. I'm adding you to my collection like Bachara, like Toki, like Aryu. Closest to my side means I want you right beside me, helping me it just feels a little bit, not quite equal, but a little bit more intimate and puts Asagi in a little bit more of a closer proximity to Reen than just at his side alongside everybody else. So it does change the meaning a little bit. So I still think Atsumu and Rin have very different dynamics, but that's very interesting to note. So I'm glad that you point that out, Wim. Also, Batra in episode 23 talks about wanting Isagi versus needing him. We talked about in the comment, like, we don't know exactly who Batra would have chosen, but I do agree with Wim when they say that Batra went from I needed Isagi to I want Isagi. So I still think Batra would have picked him, but it's more of a want versus need now. He's like, I don't need him anymore, but I want him, right? And I thought that was really interesting because Wim points out that Nagi technically wants Reo. He wants him, but he doesn't need him right now to grow. That's why he needs to be with Baro and Isagi and Rin and the others to grow, but he wants to play with Rio. So I'm going to be curious. I don't think we're going to address it in this episode. I think we're going to finish up the match with the top 5 and then, set up season 2. And we might set up this scenario, but I feel like in season 2, there will be a confrontation with Reo and with Nagi, and this will possibly be addressed. But we'll have to see if it actually happens or not. And then finally, a couple things. One, Luna, their VA is Kaide from Slam Dunk, which is so amazing. I love that we have a veteran sports anime voice actor playing this character. That's great. The other VAs I was not familiar with, so we'll just wait and see about those. But also, Loki's character is based on the soccer player Kylian Mbappe. I think I'm saying that right, Mbappe. And Mbappe started playing professionally at age 16, which is insanity to me. The idea of playing professionally for a support when you're of driving age and not even able to get a drink is what? Which I don't know the legal drinking age in France. In the US, it's like 21. But that's insane to me. So, wow. Just 16 and playing professionally. All right. So they're a child prodigy and they're now like the face of French soccer. So that's really cool. I wonder if he reads Blue Lock. I wonder if Mbappe reads Blue Lock and realizes that this character is a direct reference to him. That'd be kind of flattering. I'd be flattered if there was an anime character that was a reference to me. That'd be freaking awesome. I'd be fine with that. Even if it was a villain, I'd be like, all right, cool. I'd lean into it hardcore. Right. And then a few things about Rin and Isagi, because Wim is shipping and I'm shipping too. In the yoga scene, Isagi puts the mat a little bit back from Rin's to show like, I'm not quite at your level yet. I'm not quite equal to you, but I'm going to be your rival. I'm going to catch up. And I'm like, nice. And then finally, this thing about the fandom, and I know I've taken forever on this, but the fandom with Blue Lock, as with any other sports anime series, is pretty rabid. I was talking on Discord with some other channels. I feel like the Blue Lock fandom, they are like rabid shippers, rabid fangirls, random fanboys. I am a rabid fanboys. I'm here with you all. I'm drinking the blue Kool-Aid. I feel like I've joined a cult and it's fine. We're not harming anybody, so it's good. But y'all do some extensive research to the point where I'm like, I don't know if the mangaka took this into consideration. Now, I think maybe they did on this one because Isagi's birthday is April 1st, April Fool's Day, and Rin's is September 9th, 9/9, which I think size is 11/11, so it's like the symmetry, right? But so the middle day, and the fandom has figured this out according to Wim, the middle days between both those birthdays, on the one hand, if you go the midway point between April 1st and September 9th is around June 20th, 21st, which is Oikawa's birthday. So, I'm just adding the tinfoil conspiracy theory to all that. But at the same time, it is also known as Yoga Day, which connects to this yoga scene. But that seems like a coincidence. Pure coincidence. Like, how would the mangaka have known? Who knows? That's just random coincidence, happenstance. But then between September 9th and April 1st is like December 20th or 21st, which is National Fried Shrimp Day. And shrimp is like the little animal representation of Isagi. So at that point I was like, wait a minute. Either it's fate and these ships are fated to be together, or the mangaka has done some crazy research and is like, I wonder if this fandom will be as rabid to figure this out or not. Maybe. Either way, it's glorious. I love it. It's absolutely wonderful. But here's the deal, y'all. These comments. I can't wait to see your comments for the last episode. Please, no spoilers, obviously. But I will be waiting upon hand and foot for season 2, but it's the last episode, y'all, and it's the last time that I can plug my favorite sports anime alongside Blue Lock in this final ad. So if you got some time, take a look. Hey everybody, it's Romania Black, and I have loved Blue Lock all season long, and waiting for season 2 is gonna suck. So if you're like me and you're done with season 1 of Blue Lock and you're waiting on a hiatus for season 2 and you're like, what could I watch? Why? You could give Kuroko's Basketball a chance. You could rewatch Haikyuu, or you know what you could do? You could give Ace of the Diamond a chance. Because yes, like Blue Lock, there is a cast of characters that are so much fun to follow for hundreds of episodes and go on the journey of our protagonist as he strives to become the best Ace that he possibly can be. So I've loved Blue Lock, but I've always got to go back to my favorites. So hopefully if you haven't watched Ace of a Diamond and you've been watching 24 of these ads all season, then you will be inspired too to watch it in the future. Now, back to the reaction. It's gonna be sad not doing those for a while. But yeah, so it's the last episode, y'all. I'm really excited, but we're not gonna waste any more time. I honestly don't know how they're gonna end this season. I mean, we're probably gonna end the game with these guys, probably. Maybe not. Maybe we won't end the game. I don't know. Or maybe they'll just cut right to the ending of the game and they got curb stomped. I don't know. We'll find out. I feel like they're going to set up the other teams that haven't made it to the final stage of the second selection yet. They're going to set all that up, and then they're going to tell us what these 5 are going to be doing moving forward. And I think that's where the season's going to end. But I could be wrong. This season's proven me wrong many times before. So we're going to go ahead and start, y'all. I'm so excited. I hope you all are too. But we're going to start the final episode of Blue Lock, and we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1, and let's do this. Burr, 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 burr. Oh my God! What? What? Just like that, huh? Just like that. Well, I spilled like half this drink on me. I am Kunigami! No! I was ready for everyone else to not make it. Except, I thought it was going to be Kunigami over Rayo. But then now it makes sense. No, it makes sense. We're going to talk about it. But I didn't think Lemon, I didn't think Imamura, I didn't think Cone, Igashira, I didn't think they were going to make it to the next selection. I just didn't, right? You kind of see the writing on the wall. I feel like Cone's entire storyline was gone. We never really got to see much with Lemon or Imamura or Igashira. I was like, no, I just didn't see them making it. And so I was like, okay, that's fine. But I really thought Kunigami was going to make it. I did, but nope. And it makes sense now. We'll talk about it, but I've made a selection here of our top teams. We're going to go through this and I may rework some of this to talk which teams came first, because I realized as I brought Whiteboard Kun out and as I was getting our top 35 ready and doing our RIP thing, that I was like, wait a minute, we need to figure out, because I was like, wasn't Nico and Zantetsu on a team together in the additional time? They were. So that means that there's been like some reorganizing, and I was like, maybe I can figure out like who faced who and how we got to this point, but that's gonna be a lot, and my dog wants me to play with him, but he's not giving me his toy, and I don't know what to do with him, so no. So yeah, I'm just kind of floored that Kunigami's not gonna be in the next season. I'm like, who am I gonna ship Chigiri with? Is Chigiri just gonna have to join the harem? Is that what this came to? The mangaka was like, well, I can't have Chigiri in the Asagi harem because you know, Chigiri has Kunigami, but if Chigiri doesn't have Kunigami, or is Chigiri and Nagi going to be a thing, and then Rayo's going to have another rival? I was like, what's going to happen? What's gonna happen? Oh, we have like all these new characters that I'm like, oh, some of them don't stand out. Some of them definitely do, and I feel like are gonna have a major part in the next season. But I'm so proud of how defensive Asagi got of Kunigami, being like, well, he has to make it. He just has to. And it's like, no, heroes ain't making this. No, no way. And the irony is that Kunigami held Ryo up and was like, you're going to keep fighting. And he clearly did. But Ryo looked like a, wet kitten. Ryo looked like a kitten that had been dropped into a pickle jar full of water and was splooshing around, and then they just fished him out. Ryo looks like that little stray cat that's been in the rain too long that needs to be blow dried with Chigiri's blow dryer. So maybe Ryo can join up with Chigiri and Nagi now, and we're gonna talk about it. So, but yeah, we're gonna break all this down. The heartache is real. I was like, Blue Lock is known for just subverting expectations, and part of me was like, so we're going to end the season, I thought we were going to end the season with them losing against the World 5, because they're not going to beat them. No, that's part of the learning lesson. I was like, they're going to lose against the World 5. It's going to be fine. And then I figured that we were going to spend but I was wondering too, I was like, are we really going to spend part of season 2 going backwards and doing all of these little matchups? Are we really going to do that? Because that seems like that wastes a lot of time, and we need to move forward. And especially once the boss man starts talking about canceling Blue Lock, which we will talk about, I was like, are we really going to spend all that time kind of backtracking and seeing what they're doing while we're moving forward with Asagi and the others? No, Blue Lock is like, forget that. Why would you want to sit here and endlessly watch a bunch of matches? We're just going to cut right to the point and show you who made the top 35, which 7 teams made it through, and which did not. And it's like, okay. Which I'm kind of glad they did. The burden of not being the protagonist is that we don't get to see you fall. But that end shot with Kunigami, that hurt my soul. That was just crushing. So my theory at this point is that Ego or Ego, I know they call him Ego in this. I will never call him Ego. There's a brand of waffles in the US called Eggos, and I just can't. I can't think of Ego as a waffle. So I'm just going to call him Ego because it fits better, I think. I think what the plan is now that we've changed the third selection a wee bit, Ego has the top 20, which they've conveniently substituted their lowest player out for Sai, which got Reen to get fired up real quick. Reen was going to practically, in the words of Detox from Drag Race, I'm surprised he didn't burst through the freaking screen to go after him. Reen just had an Alyssa Edwards moment where he's like, just let me at him. Yes, in fact, Reen has a awkward but healthy relationship with his brother. I'm forever gonna know Reen being like, yes, I have an awkward but healthy relationship with my brother who he wants to burst through the screen to take on. Very healthy. So Ego's like, yeah, you top 35, we're gonna face in 3 weeks. We're gonna face the top 20. Now, what are we gonna do in those 3 weeks? Well, we ain't gonna be sitting on our ass, that's for sure. I think third selection, 3 weeks. I think we have 35 people. We have to whittle it down to 11. That's my theory. I'm like, they're going to whittle down these 35 to the top 11, cut the fat, and say who's our top 11 that's going to be our team to face the top 20. That's what I think. So I'm very curious about that. When we get everybody up on the board, I want to kind of make my predictions of who I think is going to make the top 11, and then you all can jot it down for the archives and save that clip and come back when I'm horribly wrong. Because I thought Kunigami was going to be here. It's still gutting me. I'm not. He's still unofficial. You know what? He's still unofficial merchandise, but you know who else also is? Freaking Kira. This show gets you every time. It gets you. It lulls you into that false sense of security, being like, oh, look at Kunigami still on things. Imagine that. Guess what? No, nah, bitch. I'm like, so frustrating. All right. So let's get into this. When you start out with the OP, you know it's a thing, right? I do love the OP an awful lot. Rin has no choice but to be the prettiest on the field. Rin is the prettiest character in Blue Lock. There's just no way around it. There's a lot of pretty characters, but Rin is the prettiest. Rin had a damn shoelace in his mouth and looked like he could be on the cover of GQ. So, I mean, what do we do with this? But there was a lot of metaphors about devouring and eating in this episode. There was also a lot of sexual innuendos. I feel like having players facing our teenage impressionable boys, having players that are full-blown freaking adults opens up a lot more conversation where it's like, oh, you making that comment, huh? But I like that Asagi was like, I was trying to devour Reen and Bachara, and what ends up happening instead is I made a run that was awkward, and Reen fed off of that. Reen fed, he devoured the play that Bachara and I made together, which I'm just like, you guys are an OT3. You're literally a threesome at this point. Why should we deny this, right? And then, yes, Aryu says it best. The chemistry that Asagi and Bachara drove forward, Rin devoured it. Yes. Rin's got to be on top, right? I love that we have the image of the three of them working together. I also like the color choices because normally you think of primary colors, you think red, blue, and yellow, right? But in Blue Lock, they're like, no, we're subverting what you think. We have yellow, we have lime green, and we have aquamarine. We have they look like Gushers fruit snacks is basically Team Gushers is going to be our OT3 here with them. And then Toki is like a fart green, a putrid green. Aryu is like golden. So I guess it all the color schemes all work together. Seem that way. And Toki's like, that's so cool. And I love that Aryu's like, what a noble triangle they've formed. And you know what? Pentagon is the shape of the little soccer shape that's on the soccer ball. So it makes sense that Toki and them want to all become a pentagon, right? He's like, it's so glam. I love that he's like, add me and we'll make it a square. And Toki's like, add me and we'll make it a pentagon. Basically, they want in on this threesome, which would make it an orgy at this point once you get Toki in on it. But Asagi is a genius of adaptability. So he's like, hey, if you want to join in, have at it! If you were just, I can't imagine, I don't know how reactors that aren't into the shipping and sexual innuendos of this show, I don't know what they're getting out of this. I don't know if they're having as much fun as we are, because this is such a sexual show, and it doesn't, if you don't know, it almost feels like you're in an in crowd. If you know, you know. And if you get the innuendos, it's like, aha! Especially Luna. Luna is just snaps onto Reen, and it's like, ooh! But we'll get there. But I'm like, what else are people talking about with this series if there's not the shipping involved? I feel like their discussions are 10 minutes. Which, granted, there's a lot of, I guess if you're going to be power scaling or whatever, sure. But I'm not a power scaler. I'm a damn shipbuilder. So there's just so much sexual innuendos here. Yeah. Isagi's open to it. He is open for this relationship being as polygamous as we want it to be. So good. And Bachara's like, let's see how far we can go. Let's see how big this orgy can get. Up to 35 players, apparently. And then Reen's like, look, we're going to win. But what I like about this, and Asagi notes it, is Asagi's like, I had gotten complacent about the time they scored that fourth goal. I'd gotten complacent with the idea that we were not going to win. This was just a learning experience, and we had no chance to beat these five at the top of the world stage. I like that Asagi recognizes Reen was the only one who kept treating it like they were going to win. And that's why Reen's number one. That's why he's the strongest one, right? I love that. I love that Reen didn't give up. He just kept going. That's the mentality that you have to move forward in Blue Lock. And I like that Asagi is self-aware that he didn't have it, but that Reen did. And that's why they're rivals, right? I love it. And they're like, he's like, my goal, I do like Asagi's little badger face where he's like, that wasn't my goal. It's so cute. He's just like, I want a goal. And it's, Asagi has a long way to go, which he's the protagonist of the series. Of course he does. It wouldn't be fun to follow Asagi if he was already fully developed like Reen. I know Reen gives off protagonist vibes of a series, but I don't think it'd be as fun to follow Reen around. It'd be fun to look at, maybe, but I don't think it'd be as fun to follow him around as Asagi, because as much as Asagi overthinks and doubts himself, he makes you want to root for him, and you're like, yes, I want you to devour Reen. I want you to catch up with him. I want you to become Japan's best top striker. And with Reen, it's kind of like, oh, you'll get there. There's not as much doubt, right? What if this series gets to the point where Asagi does get kicked out of Blue Lock and we just follow Reen around? What if we got to that point? Would that be crazy? I feel like that'd be crazy. Could I see the mangaka doing it? Yeah, kind of. Maybe. I also think that Asagi pointing out Loki and saying, Mr. I'm 17 and I already play for France. I'm like, Asagi, I get that. I get you wanting to, like, call out how ridiculous it is that Loki's already a professional player, but I mean, he got there for a reason. He is the child prodigy, but I'm sure he's put in the work, and Loki is terrifying. Loki is terrifying, and here's the thing. Here's the thing about Loki. Loki is not an Akashi, right? From Kuroko's basketball. Because at the very end, Loki's like, it's good to play ya. Like, has that little smirk and smile. Loki does not strike me as pretentious, which is really cool. I like that Loki's just like, no, I'm really good. Don't underestimate me. Let me show you. And then at the end, he's like, see, it was fun playing you. Like, he just has, like, he's not congenial necessarily, but he doesn't come across as, like, an asshole or a douche or, like, somebody that's really pretentious and looking down on them. He's just like, no, this is what I do. We're good, right? I feel like Loki also has that vibe to him that he wants to play them. He wants to keep playing them as they're better. Sometimes when you have, like, the antagonist in a sports anime that's like, I'm number one, I'm better than all of you plebeians, you'll never get to my level, it's kind of like, really, really, bitch? But Loki doesn't give off that vibe. Loki genuinely seems like he wants to play them, and I like that. I like how his character is portrayed here. But he's no pushover. He's no slouch. He's like Chigiri on steroids. He's like got Chigiri, and I like that he kind of puts Rin in his place and is like, yeah, no. A lot of them put Rin in his place. And I was like, well, you've got, see, like the point here where Rin is like, well, you're too obvious. And Rin's like trying to maybe overcompensate there a little bit. And Loki's like, no, you've got good foresight, but I'm fast. He doesn't say I'm faster than you. He doesn't say I'm better than you. Loki's like, you're a good player, but I'm fast and I'm going to show you. It's like, yes, I love that. I like Loki's character a lot already. I'm excited to eventually see him again. Eventually, right? So, and Asagi's like, man, I love Baby Freckles. Baby Freckles like, come on, Loki, don't do it all yourself. Baby Freckles is freaking adorable. Maybe my favorite. I kind of love him. He is little, when he scores a goal and it's a little rainbow trajectory, the aesthetic is real and I love it. And then Silva's cool too. Silva is like, surprisingly, I'm surprised that Silva gets matched up with Aryu, but it works. I figured Silva would be taking on Toki, but no, he's like fast. And he's like, oh, I've had enough anyway. Let's finish it up and hit the showers. And Toki's like, oh my God, do we even stand a chance? And that's when Aryu's like, he's like a sprinter. Not like he's kind of like Chigiri. He's able, and Aryu and Zentetsu, right? And so he's like, stop whining and give me the ball. Reen's like, quit whining about us losing a goal and let's do this. Reen getting pissed is very fun to see. So yeah, so they go, and Loki's right there. And then Luna's like, are you that scared of Loki's speed? You've got tunnel vision from lack of experience. Which is saying something, because Reen, coming into this, seems like he has some of the most experience out of all the players in Blue Lock. Like, he seems like he's been maybe playing soccer the longest and has worked the hardest. So for Luna to tell Reen, you've got this lack of experience. Also, I totally see the rivalry between Luna and Reen shaping up, because Reen has something to prove. And I feel bad for Reen because Luna keeps mentioning his brother, and I feel so bad for him because it's like Reen has established himself amongst the Blue Lock group as the number one player. And he's such a good player and he stands out on his own. And yet here he is against the top World 5 and none of them are saying, oh, Reen, you're a great player. They're like, oh, well, of course you're a good player because your brother is good. And so it's like expected of Reen to be this amazing player because Sai is good. And I could see why Reen would be pissed about that, where he'd be like, no, I have to overcome my brother so people will stop saying I'm Sai's brother and just acknowledge me as Reen. Like, I'm seeing that storyline start to flesh out, and I'm like, oh, and it makes me like Reen's character so much more, because I'm like, now I kind of understand where he's coming from. He doesn't want to be known as Sai's brother. He wants to be known as Reen Itoshi, not the brother of Sai Itoshi. And I'm like, yes, it makes me root for him so much more. So I feel like there's a rivalry brewing where Reen is wanting to show Luna that this is not the case. He's like, I can stand on my own. And he calls in. And when he says baby, he's actually going to Baby Freckles. And he's like, let's go box him in. And Baby Freckles, I like Baby Freckles has like this like pinball like eyes where he's like looking around. He has spatial awareness too. And then he sends it. It's like a sniper where he's like, kazoom! I freaking love Baby Freckles. Baby Freckles is my favorite of the top 5. I love him so much. And yeah, he sends it over to Blake, which Adam Blake, oh my God. Aryu is going to go towards the ball and Silva like knocks him out. I was expecting Aryu to face Blake, but not Silva. And so the matchups between Aryu and Toki and Silva and Blake got flipped for me. But it makes sense. Aryu against somebody that's like really strong and fast is not so good. But then Blake, I mean, the mangaka blatantly adds in this reference of being like, I'll clear it. And then Blake didn't have to say it. He says, and when he says move and just knocks, the fact that Blake just like knocked Toki to the ground like it was nothing. And Toki has been able to like barrel past Barrow and the others. Definitely sets the power level in perspective. Also, it's just like, F them kids. Just knocks, I know, my dog. He's just like, F them kids, and just knocks Toki aside. Oh my God. It's unintentionally hilarious. But then he says, he's like, I have no interest in male bodies. I'm like, okay, Blake, we get it. You're heterosexual and you like women. You're the lone person in this series. So... gotta establish our token heterosexual in the sports anime. Mm-hmm. And that's Adam. Oh, hilarious. I was also like, when was Toki hitting on you? Never. No. And it's like, yeah. And then Asagi is just like, damn. I'm glad Asagi is self-aware that they are not on the level yet of the World 5. But I'm also glad that Asagi realizes that Reen never gave up and that Reen was having the mentality you're supposed to have of believing that you can be at the equal level of, it's kind of a delicate balance, right? Because on the one hand, you don't want to be delusional and think that you're as good as the top World 5 when you are clearly not. You don't want to be delusional in that regard, which Asagi is not. But at the same time, you also want to be like Reen, where you believe that it's not just a fantasy to catch up to these players. It is possible to be equals to them. And so did Reen have a little bit of delusion thinking that he was on their equal playing field? I don't think so. I think that he was right to think that. But I also like afterwards when they're in the bedroom there talking and they're like, yeah, this match showed us that these people that we've seen on the TV screen that we thought were in another world, no, they're real and we can play them. We scored a goal against them. So we are on our way. We may not be there yet, but it is attainable for us at this stage to keep going and to catch up to them. So I really liked that. I liked that a lot. But yeah, he's like, here are some players we can never beat as we are now. I like that line that Asagi says, as we are now. We have to keep growing. I love Babyface, like little Baby Freckles, like their little rainbow arch there. It was great. He's like, we are still far from the top. But Reen doesn't think so. Reen's like, damn it. I was just 1 against 5. And the score being 1 against 5 almost seems like a play on that Reen was the only one that was on the same level as them. And that's the only one that scores. But the other 5, but he just couldn't beat him. He was just outnumbered. I also love that Asagi kind of, the character Kagami in Kuroko's Basketball, I love Kagami. He's like my favorite character from that series. But anytime Kagami is met with a challenge, instead of like curling into himself and being like, how can we win? We're going to lose. We'll never win. And like being defeatist, Kagami gets excited. He's like, no, a challenge, a worthy opponent. I'm excited. Let me get up to that level. Let's do this. And I love Asagi having like the sparkles in his eyes being like, soccer is amazing. I want to get up to this level. He's like, I want to eat them all. Asagi's like, I want to get my bib on and go to the buffet, damn it. Like, I love it. Also, for Blake saying that he doesn't like male bodies and Baby Freckles to like jump on his back and him being like, I feel like he tolerates Baby Freckles, or Baby Freckles just doesn't care, right? Adorable. He's like, I want to get to that level. And then Reen's like, not yet. We're not done yet. That face of Reen. I was like, okay. Oh my God. That face. Mark me down as terrified and aroused. That was a face. Reen was like, I am not ready to be done yet. Absolutely not. No. And cause yeah, Asagi's just like, well, we're not there yet, and Reen's like, we're not done yet. And so I'm like, oh, I feel like Isagi has so much to do for Reen to break him out of his shell, and then Reen is going to do so much for Asagi to give Asagi that mindset of a victor. I'm like, yes, absolutely, but damn that look. That expression was fierce. It may be the thumbnail. I don't know. That it may be the thumbnail. That was such an expression. So then he faces up against Luna. Again, I feel like Luna and Reen are destined to be rivals because Luna seems to be like, oh, he's the one that knows Sai. He's like, unlike these other kids, you really think you can win this? And he's like, I'm going to discourage you. And he has like this honeycomb like ball of energy around him. And he's doing the dribbling and Reen's like, okay, trying to follow him. And then he's like, no. And he does it, but again, taking the ball between his legs. And then going, oh, that's no good. And you could have just left it at that, mangaka. You could have just said that was no good. Try better luck next time. Could have just said something like that and let it be. But no. Instead, at that point, he goes, if you open your legs that easily, people are going to think you're a loose guy. I was like, and Reen's face. Luna's like, oh, I didn't know you were a bottom. Is that true? Like, so those of you that have the top Reen agenda, I see why. I think that if Reen is a genius of versatility, he can be a verse and it's no problem. But that was definitely a sexual innuendo if ever there was one. And I was like, oh my God, these are children, sir. How can you say that to him? Oh, the scandal, the audacity. Oh my God. But yeah, Luna scores the 5th goal. Mm-hmm. They all scored a goal. And I think that's the symbolic element. Each one of the World 5 scored their own goal. Maybe not Silva, right? I don't know if Silva scored one. Baby Freckles scored one. Luna scored one. Blake scored one. Loki scored one. I don't know if it was Silva that scored one as well. I think so. But it would make sense symbolically if each of the World 5 scored a goal and Reen was the only one on their level that could score one for their team. Oof. And yeah, Reen is just so pissed. He's just like, son of a bitch. This guy not only insinuated something about my sexuality, but then scored this goal and then compared me to my brother. It's just not Reen's day. Today was not Reen's day. And they're like, this was just an assessment. And then Silva's like, there's no way you could have won. And then I liked it, you know, Baby Freckles is like, we got to go report to Ego about your skills. And then, yeah, Luna saying, you lumps of talent. I do like that Luna says lumps of talent. He doesn't say losers. He doesn't degrade them in what he says, but it's kind of like a passive-aggressive, like backhanded compliment. He's like, you guys got talent, but you're just lumps right now. You're like little clay that hasn't been fully molded yet. So it is kind of like a little bit of a backhanded compliment. And then Julian just goes, like, bye. See ya next time. But I think I do like Loki's character a lot. Mm-hmm. And then, poor Reen. And I like that Asagi is the one that looks over to Reen. Asagi's like, Reen, this sucks, right? And Reen's just like, damn it. Yeah, damn it. We lost. Poor Reen. So meanwhile, we go back to the headquarters here to talk about the Blue Log Project. I compare Ego a lot to L from Death Note because he like eats food, has like his shoe socks off all the time, like he's doing here in front of the committee. He's just sitting there, you know, with his legs crossed in the seat, just swinging back and forth like L, like he doesn't have a care in the world. Ego is like a cross between L from Death Note and Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen. Just doesn't give a shit. And I'm like, Henri, you know, she's back there like with the budget proposals being like, But here's the thing. So they have this committee meeting and they're like, you're paying these world-class players $100 million each. So let's add this up. So yen to USD, I want to know. I'm like, oh, buddy. So if we had, that's 100 million yen each. So 500 million. 1, 2, 3. So basically how much he's paying them is $3.3 million to play in these games. So of course they would. Of course they would. Why would you not? And so if you had, I'm going to do some more math here. Like if you, $3.3 million is what we're looking at here for these players to come play. So 3.3 million divided by 5. Let me get this right. 3.3. No, I want to get this right. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Right. Divided by 5. Okay. So that is, if we're looking at this right. Oh no, sorry. My math is not doing me well. Divided by 5. There we go. So basically, per person, they're each making $660,000 for these matches against children. I love that Ego's like, look, I'm going to give you $500,000 if you'll come hang out for a week and like kick these little kids' asses. And they're like, sure. Why would you say no to that? And I love that they're all looking at the number crunching being like, but Ego, why? And Ego's like, it's worth it. I love the fact that it's like, where's Ego getting this money from? Is it from the Japanese government? Is it from the sports funds? What is this for? How are we doing this? Is Ego just spending other people's money? If so, that's hilarious. Like, or does he have a trust fund? Has he wrangled Henri and her, you know, thing? He's like, and a goal bonus of 1 million on top, plus a goal bonus of $1 million on top of that. So it's guaranteed they're all going to make 5 goals a match. So 35 goals. So it's an extra 35 million yen per goal, just divided up between whoever scores them. Ego. Oh my God. And Ego's just like, what's the problem? They're like, how much money are you wasting on this stupid project? To be fair, in the defense of capitalism and the defense of this special board, I could see why they'd be pissed. You've spent like nearly $4 million in a week just on teaching these children a lesson about attainable goals. Like, that's a lot of money. And then on top of like the time it's taking them away from school, because we've talked about that, the time on the equipment, the time on the food, the time on everything. Like, this is a very, very expensive endeavor. And I'm so curious why Ego has so much clout to get away with all of this. I know there's a reason, and I know we have to find more out about Ego, but I'm just like, how he gets away with all this and they just kind of like yell at him is fascinating to me. Like, how much are you wasting? Yeah, what is the point of it? And sit properly. And he's like, no. So he says, spare the rod and spoil the child. We're trying to give these youths a taste of the real world. So I guess he's making fun of them, being like, what you guys are doing is sparing the rod and spoiling the children, and it's not making them better people. He's like, I want to give them a taste of the real world and who they're actually going to be up against, right? Also love Henri's suit, would wear that in a heartbeat. And he's like, I don't expect a bunch of old geezers who've learned how to give up to understand what it means to dream, so zip it. I'm like, what gives Ego the right? What clout does he have? Was he a soccer player? Is he from a soccer family? How does this work? What if he has no soccer experience, which I think he does, then what is the deal? Did he play soccer at one time? I am so curious about Ego's backstory, but I know we're far from finding it out. But I like that he kind of calls back to like Bachra's mom talking about dreams and talking about, you guys have given up what it means to dream. So just shut up. You guys are just in it for the capitalism. You're in it for the money. I'll make you money eventually. Just be quiet. And that's when the boss man, as he's called, calls him out and says, that's enough, ego coon. So he has, knows him on a personal basis. So he's like the special advisor of Baratsuda Hirotoshi. The Blue Lock project is canceled. And I like the ego's like, what are you talking about? And Henri's like, why? I like the first thing they point out is complaints from parents. Of all, I was waiting for that to come back, being like, don't we think the parents are probably a little bit upset that their children are missing school and are getting injured in this and aren't coming home and are stuck in this facility for months and months? He's like, complaints from parents, and then an unclear picture of the project's aim, and then the fact that it has produced, I like more importantly, not the fact that there's been no like purpose or aim, not the fact that there's been parents complaining about their children literally being held hostage in this facility, but the fact that you've not produced results. That's what counts. We're here for results. And he's like, we need to put an end to this whole foolish thing. And then Ego's like, then I'll show you results. I need to know Ego's backstory, but we're not going to get it yet. We have to wait on it, and that's fine. And then Henri's like, what results? What are we doing? He's like, a big match, boss man. We're going to change Japan. And then that's why we know they're going to face the top 20. Which I do think that if Ego gets the 11 top individuals from this ready to go, I think they actually could have a chance against the top 20 with Japan. I absolutely think so. I think Sai is going to be the one that's going to be like the big bad, of course, because that's been like amped up from the beginning as being our main rival. But I do think that they could do well against the top 20. I think that's absolutely possible. But, because the top 20 in Japan are not as good as the World 5. So I think that they are a worthy, like, mid-boss before you get to the top stage, competing internationally. So I think that's fine. Yeah. So the third selection, break room for 5 people. I like the beds have gotten bigger. All this furniture, everything, the TVs, it's just, it's so funny. I love this. Yep. And the fact they all have their beds. Reen's not in there. Reen is not doing yoga. He's actually interacting with the others, which is interesting. He's like, we drowned. I do love Aryu using the little turban for his hair. It's very cute. And then, of course, Toki hugging the pillow. That's what I would be doing. So I can relate to Toki a little bit there. I like that they all come to the conclusion that they thought they were getting stronger, but this kind of like was an ego check, literally, that they can't get too arrogant at this point. And Batra is like, yeah, but we know now that playing against the big leagues is a reality. And they're like, I'm sure that's what this stage was about, was letting you know we've grown enough that it's still attainable, but we're not there yet. It's within sight. But Asagi's like, Reen was different. And so we see Reen. We finally get to see what he has there. He has like different creams, different ointments. Looks like Salonpas there. He's like relacing his shoes, getting them all set up. Yeah, he thought we could actually beat them. And he looks so cute there, little Reen with his little shoelace and everything. I like that Sagi's like, I was overwhelmed, but Reen kept trying. I felt I was just testing myself. He's like, I accepted this was the best I could do at this point. But Reen was frustrated because he thought there was a chance to beat them. And I like that Isagi's like, I still look up to those on the world stage. But to you, they're your equals and you have to defeat them. I love it. And I love he's like, a guy like you has what it takes to become the best in the world. So I do like this point here where Isagi's like, you know what, Reen? He's like, I realized you are on a level to become the best in the world. You're the one that I have to eat more than everyone else. He's like, you're the one that I need to surpass. Because if I can surpass you, that means I can stand on stage with the others. And so I like that Isagi's like, fine. Last episode said I was going to be on the front row with you as you became the best in the world. He's like, fine. I'll watch you from my front row seat. And then I will surpass you and become the best in the world. I like that Asagi's like, fine, you want me to be on a front row seat? Fine. Instead of you holding me at arm's distance like everyone else, I'll be by your side. I'll be by your side, but at two, Brute, I'll come by and stab you in the back and eat you in the end and then take your place and face the world stage. I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's go. I'm here for it. So then we have, I love that we have this English lesson with, I love the second assignment is language study, and we start with English. The tiny little ego with the little pointer, and he's just like, super important. Hilarious, which we know that Ego, his voice actor, can talk in English because he played Akashi in Kuroko's Basketball and spoke in English in the movie. So we know that's possible. Sunday, Monday. I love Tuesday. And then, to be fair, Wednesday is a really hard day. It's a hard day to spell. It's hard day to get. He's like, wins. He's like, Wednesday. And Rin is like, wins. Rin, I know why Rin is going to want to get with Asagi now. Asagi's the only one that doesn't pester Rin. Asagi's like over here doing his own work, got his earbuds in, he's doing it all on his own, and Rin is getting bombarded by everybody else. I won't be surprised if Rin is like, get out of my way, and he goes sits by Asagi, and he's like, why aren't you needing me? And Asagi's like, I don't. And he'll be like, okay, good, we'll sit here and study together. Like, this was so cute, where he's just like, idiot, it's Wednesday. And he's like, how'd you get into high school? And then I like that Toki's like, excuse me, Mr. Reen. When you introduce yourself, do you say this? We haven't seen Reen be emotional this entire series. We have not seen Reen show a shred of emotion this whole series. And now in the last episode, he's like, son of a bitch. He's like, fine. He's like, oh my god, like I just love how flustered he gets. And they're like, hey Reen, is it tis? Is it so? Is so? I just love him getting so flustered. And then they're like, come on, Reen-kun. And then we cut to Asagi with the earbuds, and he's like, he chose to work on his listening skills first. I love it. And they're like, come on, Rin-kun, help us. And he's just like, I'm not your damn tutor. I don't want to do this. And his voice actor is perfect for this moment. Like, him just getting mad and flustered. It's so funny. And then I like that Batra is the final nail in the coffin when he throws a little paper airplane. It goes, boop, fly day instead of Friday. Ah! It's amazing. It's like, I can't take it anymore. How long do we have to keep this up? I love Reen in this moment. Reen showing his humanity and showing how he's, because Akashi would never do this. I know I've compared him to Akashi this whole time. No, Akashi would never show this level of humanity and emotion. He would always be like, of course these are the answers. Yes, you plebeians, these are the answers. Why don't you understand these answers, you morons? But for Reen to get flustered and show he's just human and he's so over it, I love it. He's like, we have to play on the world stage, so we need this. And he's like, I'm sorry that you're so surly. Give your arms a shavy. That's the best. Batra telling him, give your arms a shavy. I can't deal with it. And then Aryu's like, I bit my tongue. And Asagi's like, well, they're at it again. I love that Asagi's like, I'm the most normal, calm person in the room. I feel that's why Irene is going to be all about Asagi being like, you're the only one here with sanity. Help me. Help me. And then they call him in there being like, hey, the second selection has concluded. So now let's see who made it. Let's torture you with who didn't from your teams make it. It's like, okay. So, all right. So we go in order of the teams that pass the selection. So this will determine how our teams got through, right? Okay. So, and I like that Batra's like, do you miss your friends from Team Z? Well, other than Kunigami, apparently not. But apparently he missed Kunigami. Kunigami was the one that Asagi missed. But he's like, no. He's like, I'm just excited to see, everybody getting stronger. But it is good to know that Asagi had so much faith in Kunigami, but nope. So let's go through this, shall we? He's like, they evolved, right? And then Batra's like, yeah, I'm sure there'll be more guys who are really good. Batra's like, I'm in this open relationship. And I love that they both look so innocent. There's shot of them being like, boop. Like, they just look like the cutest. Batra and Asagi, like, OT3. Then with Reen, I'm here for them. They're just so freaking cute. And the way they look at each other, like, shut up. I'm gonna take a picture of that real quick. That is the freaking cutest. Just stop. Stop. Anyway. So yeah, so the first team that comes through are the first clear team. It's them. Yes. And they're like, and so the next team that comes in is not the team. Well, it is the team we expected. So Nagi, Baro, Chigiri, Tsurugi, and Kiora, which is Zantetsu. So, okay. So the new BL ranking number 7 is Nagi. Number 18 is Baro. And then number 44, yep, is Chigiri. And then, okay, so we had Zantetsu and Jean. I don't remember Jean. I don't remember him from anywhere. So, Jean, they are the second team in. So basically what this means is that Zantetsu and Nico faced Nagi, Chigiri, and Baro at some point. And Zantetsu got sent up to this team. That team won. Zantetsu got here and Nico fell back. But they had to have been with a third player. And then we'll come back to that third player. We don't know who that player was. I don't think in the additional time we found out who that third player was. I don't think Igashira made it past the second selection stage 1. I don't think he made it. And we know that Naruhaya didn't make it. So we don't know who this third player was, but Nico did not make it past that first round against them. They made it, and then they said that they got Jean 5th. So, okay. That makes a little bit more sense, all right? That's what we know. Okay. Makes sense. So that's the team. And he's like, I'm the 4th, he's the 5th. I feel like I'm solving a math problem. And he's like, Sage, why do you look so relieved? I like that Nagi's like, we're rivals now. And Baro is like, I'll kill you. Baro's straight up gonna go for assault. And I love Chigiri's face here, where Chigiri's like, oh, you didn't think we'd make it, huh? Chigiri looks so beautiful there. Also, Chigiri saving Asagi from the suntanned asshole at the end. Could that be Chigiri getting into the Asagi harem? Possibly. But, oh my god. So yeah, that team made it. So we have that. And now I like the little blush. And again, if you want to add Chigiri to the harem too, there's a little blush where Asagi's like, oh no, I'm just happy to see you guys. I'm glad you guys all made it. So I don't think their team didn't face Kunigami and Ryo, which is interesting. And Nagi's like, I can't just quit soccer after losing to you. I have to become better. All right, we haven't beat the top. And he's like, let's just call this reunion fate. Yeah. And he's like, yay, we get to play again with one another. So then we have the third team. The third team are people that we don't know. So the third team, I'm going to put up here. This was team 1. This was team 2. We're going to put team 3 over here. I'm a little bit out of order, but I was thinking ahead. So we have this team here, aka known as the Dr. Stone team, because I swear these look like Dr. Stone characters. I've read the manga for Dr. Stone, and I'm like, especially the one looks like Sinyu. He's like, I don't know these guys. And he's like, well, it's not I do like that we have new characters, because it's like, it's not just Team Z and the teams from the one building. I like that we're getting more team players that we don't know. But he's like, nice to meet ya. So then we have Ada that says sup. Ada looks like a Bleach character, but all right. So we have Ada, which the numbers, the rankings they have, I don't think means anything to me, right? Nah. And then we have Aiki, who looks like a snake. All right, so we have Aiki. None of them look like teams that were on the original ones that they could have faced. And then we have Kinyu. I feel like I've seen Kinyu before. I feel like Kinyu was in that opening episode, and we saw him with the glasses. Kinyu looks like the kind of guy, he's wearing the type of glasses that is like, oh, I look really innocent, but I'll probably slaughter you in your sleep. I don't trust Kinyu. He's like, oh, nice to meet you. I'm like, no, he's terrifying. Mm-mm. And then we have Haruhiko that looks like he could be friends with Bachara. Haruhiko has the Dr. Stone hair, for sure. And then we have Tabito. Now he's like, who needs greetings, you schmoes? Okay, so I think that Kinyu of this team, I think Kinyu is going to be, the others don't really talk or do much. So even though they look cool, I don't think they're going to do much. I think Kinyu, the glasses man, is going to have a role. I think that Tobito will have a role. Tobito seems like he could be someone to pair up against Barrow, because he kind of has that like whatever losers kind of attitude like Barrow might have. So I'm curious. We're gonna have to note all this for the future. But he looks like he has the beauty mark, and like he looks like him and Barrow could be shipped together. I instantly wanted to ship him and Barrow, and I know zero about Tobito, and I instantly want to ship them. I don't know. So then we have the fourth team to enter, and this team. So team number 4. All right, we don't know these people either. The one guy with the headband looks exactly like Asagi. The guy with the headband, number 99, looks exactly like Asagi with a headband. How do they look different? They don't look different. I don't think he's going to make it past number 11. No. So we have this guy, Akira, who has like tiger eyes, a tiger motif. I'm going to note him because he has a very interesting look. Akira. All right. Got him. Then we have Taiga. How dare. Now, Taiga looks kind of like a character called Zonin. Oh, God, I can't. He was like at the very beginning of Ace of the Diamond. Zaizen. Yeah, he looks like Zaizen. And then Shizuka. Shizuka hair looks like paper mache. I don't know if he'll do anything. I'm like, Shizuka. And then Reiji. Reiji looks like, he has like 2 beauty marks. He looks almost like Illumi from Hunter x Hunter. I don't know if he's going to do anything. Maybe we're going to put a question mark by him. Reiji. He is ranked 22. And then Nejiro. Nejiro just looks like Asagi. Nejiro is a purple-eyed Asagi. So I don't know. He basically is Asagi's twin from another mother. I'm like, what? How are they different? They look exactly the same. I don't know. All right. And I like the Toki's like, they look strong. So I'm interested. They had kind of lower numbers of the ranks, so I don't know. Then the 5th team to come in is Nico's team. Okay, and this guy that has the same hairdo as Barrow, he ain't making it past number 11. So Nico basically got up to this team. He managed to advance from his group, and whoever was here got out, right? Because that's how it works. You get picked, so it was down to him and whoever their 3rd team member was. Well, then he got picked and selected, and this person got canceled. So, and they worked their way up from there. So the 5th team to come in is Nico. All right, so team 5, put here, is Nico. I'm going to put a dot by him. I'm glad Nico made it through. I feel like we have a lot to do with him. Then we have Yukio. Yukio looks exactly like Barrow. He's like a Barrow twin. So no, I don't think he'll make it to the top 11. He seems like a filler character. Then you have Yo. Yo is interesting, but I think he's filler too. And then we have Kairu. And then they are the team that has the injured player, which is interesting. Now, the injured player, I'm like, is he going to... Are they going to do a swap out? I'm curious. He's like, I told you I'd be the one to crush you. I'm like, yeah, I like that Nico's like, look, I came here to crush you. It wasn't wrong, right? So they're like, Hajime was injured in the World 5 game and is currently recuperating. So Hajime, yeah. He's the one that I'm like, okay, would they swap him out for Kunigami? They probably won't. That's just me being wishful thinking. That's me going, oh yeah, they end up having a player missing. So the last one to get out, the one that survived till the end and was the last one, kicked out, he's the one that's we're gonna call back. They're not gonna do that. But that's me wishful thinking. The hopeful optimist in me would be like, well, maybe he can't play and they'll bring back Kunigami, but they'll either probably not have him play and just be like, we have 34 instead of 35, or Hajime will be able to play again and then we'll come back in and be really strong. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with that, right? Nishioka Hajime. And they're like, oh, isn't that Aomori's Messi Nishioka? And they're like, everyone here took on the World 5. So they make a point of saying that he was a strong player. So he might come back in here and do something, but I don't think they'll swap him out with Kunigami. That's just me wanting Kunigami to stay. So yeah, so then they had Team 6, right? And oh my god, I cannot tell you how much I love the dynamic between Gin, Raichi, and Wakama. I like that Wakama started out in that additional time being like, hi, we're friends. I'm going to compliment you two so that you'll choose me for your team. And now they're just fighting with each other, and the other two in the background are like, what the fudge? I love their dynamic. I'm so glad they're here. I'm so glad they're here. And like, stop it, you bastards. And then, yeah, the three of them, I like that Wakama and them have just... These two in the back do not look like high schoolers. The two in the back with the fro and the, like, half white, half black hair, they look like they're 27 or 30. How did they get here? And I love that Isagi's so happy to see Raichi and Gin. He's like, hey! And Raichi's like, shut up, I hate you! He's like, I told you, dimwits. I like that Raichi's, like, anxiety levels have not gone down, and Gin's like, what an uncool entrance. So, yes, I love that they made it. They're the 6th team in. I love that those three stayed together. So basically, those three just made it through Boom Boom. Interestingly enough, it seems like maybe they made it to the 4th stage and then lost somebody and came back. I don't know. And so then, well, Wanima, not Wakama. Wanima. Love it. I think Wakama was a twin. Wanima. I love it. Then we have these other guys, Shingen and Kyohei, who are just like, now Shingen is ranked 5. So I'm going to put a dot by him. He's ranked pretty high up there. Shingen is. Interesting. And then we have Kyohei. But it could be one of those things where Shingen was on a team kind of like Baro in the first selection. He just got stuck with a team of people that kept getting out and he gets picked. I'm going to put a note on Shingen because him being ranked 5 is interesting. That seems like a pretty high up there ranking. So what was, I want to see real quick, what was the rankings for the other ones? I mean, Raichi is 95, of course. 88 is Gin and 79 is Junichi. Okay. He's like, oh, there's a lot of guys I haven't seen in a while. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, we get to play again is what I'm saying. Yes. And Shigiri's like, fine. Shigiri's like, I'm stuck with you again. Oh my God. So then we have one team left. And I was like, oh, well, of course. They're drawing out the drama. They are going to make us wait to the last minute to see Kunigami and Reo. They're drawing it out. They're making us wait. And then when they showed the first 3 that weren't them, and you're like, oh no. And then the back 2, you're like, oh, well, no worries. It's Reo and Kunigami. Nope, it's Reo and a douche. So I'm like, oh my God, they have to be there. So we see, wait. Oh, it is Igarashi. It is Ikaguri. Oh my God, he did make it. Oh, I'm such a bitch. No, he did make it. Oh my God. Shit. He made it and not Kunigami? What? He made it and not Kunigami. The one I thought was going to get out first made it and not Kunigami. What? I'm going to take a photo of this real quick. I mean, he looks like he's been through a lot. He has his jaw slashed, his nose. He looks like he's been through battle, and I didn't recognize him because he looks different. I did not recognize him because he looks just completely different. So Igaguri makes it, and he's the last one. Yeah, the rank. Igaguri makes it. Holy shit. Which I wonder if Igaguri, I don't know whose team he was on. We never saw that. Yeah, so he made it. Oh my God. Yep. And then we have Tetsu. Yeah, he's fodder. Get him out of here. Not important. Tetsu, number 20. And then, okay, number 4. Ooh, Ronzi. Okay. Ronzi is interesting. I don't know how to feel about him because he's number 4. He's number 4 after like these first 3, Ryu and Ren and Toki. So he's interesting. Okay. Ronzi with the little braid. And then Chigiri and Isagi are like, wait, so they made it. And then we see Rayo. Rayo looking like a little drowned kitten. Being there, being like, oh, hey. And he looks so sad, but he was picked. So these 3 made it through. So Rayo's up here. So basically what happened was in the group, whoever they were with, we don't know, they got picked and went up, right? And then what happened was Rayo got picked when it was down to those 2 and moved up. I wouldn't be surprised, since they're the last group to come in, I wouldn't be surprised if it got down to Rayo and Kunigami. Oh, damn it. That means that the first group they came up against after, it could very well be the very first group they came up against after facing Chigiri and the others was the team with Igaguri on it, and Igaguri was like, we're gonna pick Rayo, and Kunigami got left behind. Oh. And then they just went up from there, and then they just got a 5th player and went in. Oh my god, yeah. And then, of course, Nagi's like, Rayo! I like that Nagi's like, Rayo! And he kind of has, like, this soft little expression. I like that Nagi's like, oh, good, my boo's here. And then Chigiri and Isagi are like, is it Kunigami? But when they had, my thing was, when they showed the shadows behind him, I'm like, that hair doesn't look like Kunigami's. And in walks this mofo. Yeah, number 111! His rank is lower than Igaguri's. Yeah. And he's like, that's all. And Ryusei. Ryusei's such a bitch. I'm like, oh, yeah. Ryusei. Yep. Okay, I mean, cool hair design, like the ombre hair, like the tan. I like that Bachio tries to get a read on him, and he's like, no, this ain't spray tan, bitch. This is all natural sun. But yeah, his ranking's like the lowest. And then they're like, Kunigami. Where's Kunigami? Oh, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. They're like, where is he? And they're like, Rayo, why isn't he here? And he's like, we lost. And I got chosen. Which is such a, a moment of being like, he wasn't chosen when it was them, and this time around he gets chosen. It's like, oh. He's like, I got chosen, so yeah. And they're like, yeah, he wasn't the kind of person who could become the best striker in the world. It's like, this series is like, if they're too kind-hearted and too nice, it's like, no, he was too pure for this world. Kunigami was too pure and supportive for this world. He couldn't make it into the trenches. Oh. And he's like, that's all there is to it. And then Asagi had so much faith in him. Oh, and that's when he's like, well, I'm the one who sent him sliding down to hell. Oh my god, Ryusei. And Asagi's like, bitch, what? He's like, he had great physique, and his honest heart was pure and fair and graceful, but we're just bitches here. On the field, no one gives a shit if you're a good guy or not. Anyone who ain't living for those explosive flashes is trash. That innocent and honest shit stain of a hero was Slime, who didn't even help me level up. Oh, you bitch. And Shigiri's like, bitch, what? I love it. He's like, you don't know a thing. You don't even know him. He's like I said, no one gives a shit. He looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh villain. Ryusei looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh villain with his eyeliner. And then he goes to, and I love that he's like, I don't care, you're the protagonist. I'm gonna kick you. And then Shigiri's like, get down. The fudge? How dare. It's like, this guy's really pissing me off. And Bachira's like, you said it. I'm glad you were there, Chigiri. Otherwise, I would have kicked his ass. I love Bachira's like, hey, dude, you want to take this outside? You want to take this outside since you're coming after my man? Is that what you want to do? Oh, my God. I love it. He like cracks his neck. He's like, "You're the slime, Mr. Slime Tan Antenna guy." And he's like, "Oh, this tan ain't from the slime. It's all sun, bro." I was like, this is Drag Race. This is literally RuPaul's Drag Race. It's like the queens have all come together now for the third stage of All Stars. Like, this is something I would hear on All Stars. This is. And Ego's like, "Settle down, ladies. We got things to do. Diamonds in the rough." And he's like, "You have no time to be worrying about those who didn't make it." Yeah. He's like, after all, your own soccer careers might go up in smoke and be relegated to worthless garbage along with Blue Lock. He's like, "Hey kids, I don't mean to put pressure on you. I don't mean to put a damper on your situation, but my entire project is riding on this, so I need you guys to level up and, you know, and kind of help me out here, guys." And they're like, "What?" I like Ikaguri's like, "What, who, me?" He's like, "Oh, before all that, good work. You made it this far. He's like, I'm sure you gained something from the defeat at the hand of the World 5. He's like, I can tell you the purpose of that match later. You guys have probably already kind of figured it out. But yeah, a lot of plans have changed. So we're going to have to kick things into a different gear." And that's when he's like, since the big wigs of Japanese soccer want to shut down Blue Lock, he's like, "You guys don't want that, right?" He's like, "The next selection is going to take place 3 weeks from now." So, okay, so the next selection is taking place 3 weeks. And it's going to be a special match between the Japan's under-20s team and the Blue Lock 11. Uh-huh. So, he's like, yeah. Also, can we point out that Ego's wearing freaking Crocs? It's just hilarious to me because my brother only wears Crocs. He has, like, shoes for work and Crocs. And I'm like, I can't take you serious. And he's like, I don't care. People who wear Crocs out in public don't give a shit. They don't care what you think. There are 0 F's given. They could care less what you say. They want their feet aerated, and that's all that matters. And it's like, he's like, "Wait, what? We're facing the under 20s? He's like, "If you win the match, we get to hijack the team." So yeah. So here's the thing. They're like, hijack. That means we'll be the U20s. Uh-huh. He's like, after all, this is a ragtag team of high school players and everyone's a forward. So he's like, I like the Ego looks so innocent as he's explaining this. He's like, they didn't think we were serious at all and they just agreed to it. Isn't that funny? Ha ha ha. Let's kick their ass. What's even funnier is this idea of underestimating sounds like something that the character Hua Chong would do in Heaven Official's Blessing. And the voice actor for Ego is the Japanese voice actor for Shi Lien, who is the love interest of Hua Chong in Heaven Official Blessing. So it's like 7 degrees of Kamiya, basically, is what's happening here. So like, yeah, their aim is to can the Blue Lock project, and they're like, they're just gonna rake in some money too. I also like Akira's like look where he has like he's taking the sleeves off. I like it. It's like, all right, if we lose, we're the laughing stock and our names will go down in Japanese history as a failed attempt. He's like, so how does what you've heard make you feel so far? And we go to Reen, and Reen's just looking on like, well, I hate this project. I'm just here to become the best player, so I don't care. And then it's like, it's like, he goes like, are you frustrated that you're being taken so lightly? Oh, no? Oh, are you burning with fury and wanting to give them a shock? Oh, and he's like, well, I can say this calmly and pragmatically. And I like he puts the gun to his head with his fingers. You're good enough to overthrow Japanese soccer. I love how he looks. He's just like, let's kick their asses. I love Ego's look there. It's so good. And Asagi's like, well, Ego says it must be true. He's like, that said, they're also going to go all out for the win because they don't want to get shown up. And they've added one more player to their team. I like that the shot they have of said player is of him, like, semi-nude. I'm like, really, Ego? Why? And like, Itoshi Sai, who's 18. Okay. And that would probably put Reen as being 15 or 16, right? And then that was Reen going, oh, bitch, what? Now my brother's here? That got Reen in gear. Reen's gonna be like, get out of my way. Just to get to all of them. Yeah, Reen just got super amped. And then we have that damn snow on the soccer field as Sai's walking away. Like, just, bring us back. Yes, and Reen's like, oh no. Reen is pissed. He is pissed in this awkward yet healthy relationship that he has with his older brother. Sure, Jan. Sure, Jan. Sure. He's like, now the time is to put it all on the line. This seems like a double spread, right? Seems like a double spread of all the characters together, and they're all the pieces, right? Correct? Uh-huh. And then, yeah, I like Tobito's look. He looks really cool. Tobito, and then, it's a reality you can reach out and grab. Yeah, Ryusei is gonna be the villain of the next season for sure. Ryusei is gonna be our stepping stone. This Kira on acid looking mofo. And then I like that we have Ego with the blue aura. Let's go, diamonds in the rough. We're gonna create a new epoch. Yes. And Asagi's like, yes, of course, sir. So then, yeah, we have the final team together. Sai, of course, is our main opponent. Of course he is. Oh, Sai, interesting. He looks so like, he's just like, hey, what's up? I just love it, yeah, because we know Sai is a little bit more like laissez-faire than Reen, for sure. So, okay. So this episode was amazing. A great place to end off for Blue Lock for us. The big question is, of course, which 11 do we think is going to be the top 11 that's going to play the top 20? Because I'm not sure if the way he said it, he's like, we're going to make the selection 3 weeks from now. So that's going to be the top 11 that are going to play against the under 20s. So we had to pick 11 of these 35 that we think could be in the field. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious at this point. It's going to be at least Bachara, Isagi, and Reen. I think those three are like for sure going to be in the top 3. I feel like they are, right? At least now it could be a big twist that it's Isagi and Reen, but not Bachara. But I feel like it's going to be Bachara. I don't know. We're going to put like a little asterisk here of maybe the plot twist is that Bachara doesn't make the top 11. I don't know. Then where do we go to from there? Because we have to have 8 more. I don't know. My thing is, I don't think Ryusei is going to make the top 11. I think that one of the big like baddies to face in the next season before they get to the top 11, I think one of the big baddies to face is going to be Ryusei, and Isagi and then we're going to have to put him in his place, being like, yeah, you may have sent our boy Kunigami home, but here's the deal. We're going to kick your ass and you're not going to advance. We're going to put you in your place. So, and do that, right? Okay. Which also suggests when the team that picked Rayo, that had to be a team of 3, had Ryusei in it. And they kicked him out to take them on. So, interesting. Okay. So, I'm just kind of amazed that Cone, Imamura, Lemon, none of them made it. That means, you know what that means? That means that they faced off against a team and somebody went out and was chosen, leaving the 2 of them. So let's say, I want to say Cone was probably picked. So that left Imamura and Lemon. But then they faced another team and let's say they lost. Let's say that Lemon was picked and Imamura. Basically, they all sucked so much they kept losing. How many times would you have to lose to not get picked? So in Cone's case, he was out, let's say he was out first. Then Imamura and Lemon. So Imamura went back down, let's say to a team with another person. That person got picked and Imamura got out. So Imamura played 2 games and was out. Then, or 3 games and was out. Then Lemon, let's say Lemon got picked. He got back down to the 2. And then got... So yeah, each of them probably played 2 or 3 games. They were just left behind the whole time. That sucks. That sucks so much for them. No one on their team made it. Oh my God. That sucks so much. So who can we see being picked? Of the team with Gin and Raichi and them, I definitely would love Raichi to make it. I think Raichi has some stuff to prove. I could see Raichi, if we're talking about top strikers and having that ego and that personality of just wanting to take the ball and score the goal, I think Raichi could make it. I think Gin is too much of a team player, so I don't think Gin's going to make it. I don't know if Wanima is good enough to make it. I don't know. And The Shinjo guy is interesting, but none of those guys didn't stand out enough for me. I feel like Raichi could make it of the group. I would like Raichi to make it. I would like Raichi to be featured in the top team. I think it'd be fun. I like Raichi's character. It's come so far. I started out hating Raichi's character. Now I'm like, I think he could make the top 11. I don't know. Of this team here, obviously, I'm so torn because I don't know. There's too many good players. Because then I'm like, what about Raichi? I don't know if he's good enough to beat the others to make it. Ronzi was up there as one of the top, like, number 4, but I just don't get a vibe from them yet. They didn't say anything. So even though they're number 4, that doesn't mean anything. Because, Kunigami was a higher number than Ryusei, and he didn't make it. So the number doesn't necessarily mean that you're amazing, right? So I don't know if anybody from this team, I don't think Igaguri is going to make the top 11, so I don't know about any of this team. No. Now the Tobito guy, I think Tobito will make it. I don't know. His character gives me a vibe of being slightly arrogant, but not like a douche lord like Ryusei. I feel like Tobito could make it. I'm rooting for him. Kinyu, I don't know. Reiji, I don't know. I don't think anybody from Akira has a cool design, but I don't know if they're going to make it. I don't know if that team's going to do it. And then the top 2 teams, I kind of want Nico to make it. I don't think anybody else on his team. I don't think this injured player, I don't think any of them are going to make it. Nico, I would like Nico to play. I want to see more of Nico. Nico was promised to do something and didn't get a chance to this season. So I want to see Nico make it to the next stage. And then, so what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 5 left. Oh, well, that works out great. We could have Aryu, we could have Toki, we could have Chigiri, Baro, Nagi. That's our 11. But here's the problem. Is that this series is setting up that if you have flaws and you have any hesitation, out. Not gonna work. So the ones I'm scared for, like, I think that Rin and Asagi are in the bag. I do. I think they're gonna make it no matter what to the top 11 that face them. Rin has to face Sai. That is part of his plot. He has to face Sai, and he has to have Asagi alongside him, right? So that has to be a case. I think Bachira will make it. I do. I think those 3 are gonna stick together. But then from then on, it really is a free-for-all, which is exciting when you have a cast that's so deep you don't know who's going to get in. Because, like, Nico and Tobito and Raichi, we haven't seen a lot of this season, so I kind of want to see some development with their characters. The Ryusei guy, if he makes it to the top 11 and they have to work with him, I could see that happening. I could see Ryusei making it to the 11 that face the top 20. But I also wonder, am like, I don't know, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the U20s team. I also think that Ryusei will either make it or he won't. I will not be surprised either way. I don't want him to make it. I want Ryusei to get put in his place by Asagi and Chigiri after this episode. But knowing Blue Lock, there's no telling what's going to happen with his character. My concerns are with Baro, Chigiri, and Nagi. I think Nagi will make it. Now, Reo, where was he at? Yes, Reo. Oh my God. I completely was like, nobody on this team. Reo. Oh my boy. Poor Reo. Just getting shit on this whole series. I don't know. Reo has to prove himself. Reo was chosen over Kunigami, but that doesn't mean anything, right? That doesn't mean much. They could have been like, you seem like you're an anchor. Let's get you. Reo needs to prove himself. Raichi, I think, has the attitude that could work for being there, but he has to prove himself. Nico and Tobito, I really like Tobito's character already, just from the glance of him and him being like schmoes, being like such a bro. I like him. They've got to prove themselves. Ryusei is a douche, but he might be decent. We don't know. The ones that have to prove themselves, like Reo needs to prove himself that he's ready to go up to the top 11. I have faith Reo could do it, but I want to see that storyline. Here's the thing. I was saying it at the beginning of why I think that Kunigami, it makes sense why he didn't advance. Because of a couple reasons. One, Kunigami and Baro are very similar. And if you're going for the character that has the more potential story arc, it's Baro. So there's that. That was kind of against Kunigami. And then also, in terms of which storyline are we going to have the most shipper angst and development, Chigiri and Kunigami were practically ready to walk down the altar at the end of whenever Chigiri got chosen. Chigiri's like, I'm waiting at the altar for you, boo. I got the dress ready. You got the rings? Like, they were ready to go. Like, their whole arc shipping storyline was done, right? And that's such an ironic thing now that Chigiri was like, you better catch up to me, and Kunigami couldn't do it. But I think Reo and Nagi, their shipper angsty storyline has so much more potential, and they need to communicate. They need to reconcile. They need, like, some makeup stuff happening to them. That we have so much more potential for their characters down the line than I think we did with Chigiri and Kunigami. As much as my heart bleeds for Kunigami and his pure soul, I think that the decision to cut Kunigami, because that's as far as his character ultimately was going to go, makes sense. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate that Igaguri made it, but Igaguri needs some character development. So let's give him some character development. All right. Oh my God. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. So I do worry. I think Nagi will make it into the top 11 because Nagi he's so versatile and has so much potential too. Chigiri, I worry about a little bit along the same ways as, because I think my problem is Chigiri and Aryu and Baro and Toki all kind of are similar in what they do. There is variance between them, and there is definitely differences in personality, things like that, but they're kind of like place on the field is similar. So I'm like, and we've established that Chigiri and Aryu are kind of like Loki. So I don't know. I feel like Chigiri could go all. Baro is the one I'm really worried about. And I like Baro. And he's like, I think Baro can be good, but Baro is definitely, of the diamonds in the rough, Baro is really unpolished. And I feel like once he's polished, he's going to be really freaking amazing. But I don't know. On the one hand, I was like, well, I can't see them getting rid of Baro and Chigiri and Nagi because they're part of the main cast. But I also thought that about Kunigami, and then bloop, bye. So I don't know. Even if you did pick these 5 and these 3, 8, you still have 9. You still have 3 characters left to join those 8. I don't think it's Zantetsu or Jean. No. So even if you keep these top 8 that we've followed most of season 1, that still leaves room for 3 more to pop in if we're doing the top 11. And maybe there'll be alternates, but I have a feeling they're narrowing down, because the goal by the end of the series was narrowed down to the top 5. That was the goal, was the top 5. Could I see Toki being left out? Yeah. I mean, Aryu's glam, so Aryu stands out and has such a personality that I feel like Aryu would be harder for a mangaka to drop, but I could see Toki getting dropped. I could. And I know people are going to be like, you hate Toki. I don't hate Toki. I just don't think Toki is a compelling character to go on beyond this next stage, where I think some others on the field here have more potential to be more compelling and interesting to follow. And maybe Aryu won't make it. I don't know. This series makes you question everything, and you're like, I don't know who's going to make it and who's not. And that's kind of the beauty of Blue Lock, is you are left in absolute suspense, wondering who's going to face up against these next teams. So yeah, that's where we're at. So I'm super excited to see what ends up happening. I hope you all are too, but this series has been so much fun and so wonderful. I want to give a special shout out to Wim over on the Discord, because Wim has been the moderator for this series. My other moderators on Patreon are not familiar with Blue Lock, and they were like, we don't really have anybody. We don't know what to do. So Wim volunteered to do this, to check comments. Moon has helped out as well when Wim couldn't. And thank you all so much, because you've helped me get through this season spoiler free. And I'm probably going to have you guys check the comments for this episode to make sure nobody spoils me. But I'm so excited. I can't wait. So we'll just see. But oh my God, my mind is reeling. I'm going to go back and take some more screenshots and get this edited and go from there. But I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I'll be back very soon. Sooner, hopefully, than later with more Blue Lock. Bye.